And he made the altar for the burnt offerings of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The altar was square, and it was 3 cubits high. And he made its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns were all one piece from it, and he overlaid it with copper. And he made all the implements of the altar, the pots and the shovels and the sprinkling basins and the flesh hooks and the fire pans. He made all its implements of copper. He made for the altar a copper grating of netting work beneath its ledge from below until its middle, and he cast 4 rings on the 4 ends of the copper grating, holders for the poles. And he made the poles of acacia wood, and he overlaid them with copper. He inserted the poles into the rings on the sides of the altar with which to carry it. He made it hollow out of boards. And he made the washstand of copper and its base of copper from the mirrors of the women who had set up the legions who congregated at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And he made the courtyard on the southern side. There were hangings for the courtyard of twisted fine linen, 100 cubits. And their pillars were 20, and their sockets 20 of copper, the hooks of the pillars and their bands of silver. For the northern end 100 cubits, their pillars 20 and their sockets 20 of copper, the hooks of the pillars and the bands of silver. For the western side hangings 50 cubits, their pillars 10 and their sockets 10, the hooks of the pillars and their bands of silver. For the eastern end 50 cubits. The hangings on the shoulder were 15 cubits, their pillars 3 and their sockets 3. And on the second shoulder on either side of the gate of the courtyard there were hangings of 15 cubits, their pillars 3 and their sockets 3. All the hangings of the courtyard all around were of twisted fine linen. The sockets for the pillars were copper. The hooks of the pillars and their bands were silver, and the overlay of their tops was silver. They were banded with silver, all the pillars of the courtyard. And the screen of the gate of the courtyard was the work of an embroiderer, made of blue, purple, and crimson wool, twisted fine linen, 20 cubits long in its height, and the width was 5 cubits, corresponding to the hangings of the courtyard. And their pillars were 4 and their sockets 4, of copper, their hooks silver, and the overlay of their tops and their bands were silver. And all the pegs of the mishkan and of the courtyard all around were copper. These are the number of the mishkan of the testimony, which were counted at Moses' command. This was the work of the Levites under the direction of Ithamar, the son of Aaron, the Kohen. Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, the tribe of Judah, had made all that the Lord had commanded Moses. With him was Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, a craftsman and master weaver and an embroiderer in blue, purple, and crimson wool and in linen. All the gold that had been used for the work and all the work of the holy, the gold of the waving was 29 talents, 730 shekels according to the holy shekel. The silver of the community numbers was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels according to the holy shekel. 1 bekka per head, that is, half a shekel according to the holy shekel for each one who goes through the counting from 20 years old and upward, for 3,550 people. 100 talents of the silver were used for casting the sockets of the holy and the sockets of the dividing curtain. 100 sockets out of 100 talents, 1 talent for each socket. And out of the 1,775 shekels, he made hooks for the pillars, and he covered their tops and banded them. The copper of the waving was 70 talents, 2,400 shekels. From that he made the sockets of the entrance to the tent of meeting. the copper altar, the copper grating upon it, and all the implements of the altar. The sockets of the courtyard all around, and the sockets of the gate to the courtyard, all the pegs of the Mishkan, and all the pegs of the courtyard all around.